Just imagine I came to the wedding of my daughter, the one I had given my whole life to. But she coldly said, "Dad, I'm sorry, but you weren't invited. Go away." I quietly left, my heart broken by the betrayal. But within 2 hours, her perfect wedding turned into a nightmare. Revenge? No. It was justice. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and let us know where you're listening from in the comments. The champagne glass slipped from my fingers. Crystal shards scattered across the marble floor like fallen stars, each piece reflecting the horror on my daughter's face. "Dad, what are you doing here?" Emily's voice cut through the elegant chatter of the wedding guests. Her wedding dress, the one I'd spent $12,000 on, rustled as she stepped back. "You weren't supposed to come." I stood frozen in the grand ballroom entrance, still holding the gift box I'd wrapped myself. White roses imported from Ecuador filled every corner, their fragrance mixing with expensive perfume and judgment. The chandelier above cast rainbow patterns on the walls that had cost me 3 months of profit to rent. "Sweetheart, it's your wedding day." My voice sounded smaller than I intended. "I wanted to congratulate you both." Michael appeared beside her, his tuxedo perfectly tailored, his smile sharp as winter. "Mr. Clark, I think there's been a misunderstanding." "What misunderstanding?" I looked between them, searching Emily's face for the little girl who used to beg me to push her higher on the swing set. Emily glanced at the guests watching us. Women in designer gowns whispered behind crystal champagne flutes. Men in $1,000 suits pretended not to stare while clearly listening to every word. This is a private family celebration," she said, her voice tight with embarrassment. "Immediate family only." The words hit like ice water. 28 years of bedtime stories, school plays, and dance recitals collapsed into that single sentence. 28 years of choosing her college fund over my own retirement, her happiness over my comfort. "I paid for this wedding, Emily." The words came out steady, factual. "Every flower, every plate, the dress you're wearing." Michael's jaw tightened. "Money doesn't buy class, sir." "Michael's right," Emily whispered, not meeting my eyes. "This isn't about money. It's about fitting in. You don't understand the kind of people who are here." I understood perfectly. Construction workers who built their houses weren't welcome at their parties. The man who'd sacrificed everything so his daughter could marry into their world had served his purpose. Around us, conversations had stopped entirely. A photographer lowered his camera. The string quartet played on, oblivious to the drama unfolding behind their elegant backdrop. "I see." I set the gift box on a nearby table between untouched champagne flutes and white orchids. "I wouldn't want to embarrass you. Dad, please don't make this harder than it needs to be." I studied her face, memorizing the features I'd kissed goodnight for 18 years, her mother's green eyes now cold as river stones. The smile I'd worked overtime to put braces on now turned away from me. "You're right," I said quietly. "I don't belong here." The walk to the exit stretched like a marathon. Designer heels clicked against marble. Whispered conversations resumed behind me. Someone laughed, high and artificial. My work boots, polished for the occasion, felt heavy against the pristine floor. Outside, the spring air hit my lungs like freedom. The parking lot stretched before me, filled with luxury cars I'd never afford. My pickup truck sat alone in the far corner, exactly where it belonged in their world. I reached for my phone, fingers steady despite everything. 25 years of building a company from nothing had taught me patience. 25 years of loving an ungrateful daughter had taught me the true value of loyalty. The screen lit up with missed calls from my lawyer about a property dispute. I scrolled past them to find a different number, one I hadn't called in months, but suddenly needed. My thumb hovered over the contact name, First National Bank Business Services. Inside that ballroom, my daughter was celebrating her new life without me. Outside, I was about to begin mine without her. The phone rang once before someone answered. Heavy doors sealed behind me with the finality of a vault closing. Wedding music faded to whispers as I crossed the asphalt toward my truck, each step more deliberate than the last. The gift box remained on their table, abandoned like everything else I'd given them. March wind carried the scent of approaching rain. Dark clouds gathered above the venue's Gothic spires, casting shadows across luxury vehicles that cost more than most people's houses. My boots crunched on gravel as I reached the truck, keys already in hand. Inside the cab, silence wrapped around me like armor. The dashboard clock showed 3:47 p.m. Enough time before banks closed on Saturday. Enough time to make several important calls. I scrolled through contacts until I found what I needed. First National Bank Business Services appeared on screen. My finger hesitated for exactly 3 seconds before pressing call. First National, this is Patricia speaking. How may I assist you? Patricia, this is James Clark, account number 7794512. I need to initiate stop payments on several authorized transactions. Of course, Mr. Clark. Let me pull up your account. Can you verify your social security number and mother's maiden name? Standard procedure. I provided the information while watching guests arrive through the venue's front entrance. Women in silk dresses, men adjusting expensive cufflinks, none of them knowing what was about to unfold. Thank you. I see several large transactions from today. Which ones specifically? All wedding-related payments. Venue rental, catering deposit, floral arrangements, photography, music services. Each item rolled off my tongue like inventory. Implementation needs to be immediate. Sir, these are significant amounts. Are you certain about stopping all payments? Completely certain. There's been a change in circumstances. Keyboard clicks filled the pause. I'll need authorization codes for transactions over $10,000. I recited the codes from memory. 25 years of running a construction business had taught me to remember every important number, every contract detail, every payment authorization. Stop payments are now in effect. Confirmation numbers are being generated. Is there anything else? That covers the banking side. Thank you, Patricia. Next call went to Spokane's premier catering company, the same company Emily had insisted on despite their astronomical prices. Elegant Affairs Catering. This is Marcus. Marcus, this is James Clark. I'm calling about the Anderson wedding reception happening right now. Oh, yes. Mr. Clark, everything is going beautifully. The guests are raving about the appetizers. I'm afraid there's been a financial complication. Payment authorization has been revoked. You'll want to protect your equipment and remaining food service. Silence stretched between us. Sorry. What exactly are you saying? The bank has stopped payment on your contract effective immediately. I suggest you secure your assets. But we're in the middle of service. The main course hasn't even been served. That's unfortunate timing. My voice remained steady, professional. You might want to speak with the wedding party about alternative payment arrangements. Marcus disconnected without another word. Smart man. The florist answered on the second ring. Bellingham Blooms, Susan speaking. Susan. This is James Clark regarding the Anderson wedding flowers. Mr. Clark, the arrangements look stunning. The bride was so pleased with the orchids. There's been a payment issue. Bank authorization has been canceled. You'll need to collect your arrangements if you want to salvage any value. Collect them? But they're integrated into the entire venue design. Business is business, Susan. I suggest you move quickly. 3 more calls followed. Photography services, string quartet, even the linen rental company. Each conversation followed the same pattern. Professional courtesy, growing alarm, then rushed disconnections as vendors scrambled to protect themselves. My phone showed 4:15 p.m. when the last call ended. Through the windshield, I watched a white catering van pull up to the venue's service entrance. Marcus, most likely coming to salvage what he could. Inside that ballroom, Emily was probably still greeting guests, blissfully unaware that her perfect wedding was about to become a very expensive lesson. Michael was likely discussing business with his father's friends. Confident in his superiority over simple construction workers, neither of them understood what they'd truly cost themselves today. I started the engine and pulled out of the parking space, driving slowly past the venue's front entrance. Through tall windows, I caught glimpses of the reception in progress. Crystal glasses raised in toasts. Elegant figures moving across polished floors, all of it, about to change. My phone buzzed with an incoming call. Emily's number appeared on screen. I let it ring. The dashboard clock read 4:20 p.m. when the first truck arrived. Bellingham Blooms was painted in elegant script across the white paneling. Susan sat behind the wheel with two assistants riding shotgun. They parked near the service entrance and unloaded empty containers with business-like efficiency. Through the venue windows, I could see the cocktail reception in full swing, crystal glasses catching chandelier light as guests mingled around Emily's imported orchids. Michael gestured broadly to a circle of men in expensive suits, probably explaining his latest business venture. Neither bride nor groom noticed the florist team entering through side doors. Emily stood near the main entrance, radiant in $12,000 of silk and pearls, accepting congratulations from a steady stream of relatives. Her laugh carried across the ballroom, bright and carefree. The sound would change soon enough. Emily, at 8 years old, gap-toothed and glowing after her first school play. "Thank you for coming, Daddy." "Did you see how loud everyone clapped?" Emily, at 12, triumphant after winning the spelling bee. "I thought about you when I was nervous. It helped me remember the words." When had she stopped seeing me as a person worth thanking? When had I become merely a source of funding for her ambitions? My phone rang again. It was Emily's 14th call since our last conversation ended. This time, she'd left a voicemail. "Dad, please answer. I've been thinking about what you said. I know I haven't been grateful enough. I know I've taken you for granted. Michael's family is threatening to leave if we can't explain the financial situation. I need to know what you want from me." What I wanted was 25 years of appreciation that would never come. What I needed was assurance that Emily understood the value of what she'd so casually dismissed. I printed the spreadsheet summary and organized the supporting documents into manila folders. Education, transportation, housing, personal expenses, wedding costs. Each folder thick with evidence of love translated into dollars, sacrifice measured in bank transfers. Tomorrow would bring conversations Emily wasn't prepared for. Questions about responsibility, accountability, and the true cost of entitlement. Tonight was for preparation. The documentation spread across my desk like evidence in a courtroom. Nearly $1 million in support, provided without question, appreciation, or acknowledgement. Emily had lived like royalty while treating her benefactor like hired help. That arrangement was about to change. Sunday morning brought crisp March air and the kind of clarity that follows thorough preparation. My briefcase sat by the front door, loaded with 25 years of documented evidence. Richards and Associates had agreed to an emergency consultation at 9 a.m., professional courtesy between businessmen who understood that some situations couldn't wait until Monday. The law office felt appropriately serious. Mahogany panels, legal volumes lining the walls, certificates of decades-long success. Margaret Richards herself met me in the conference room, silver hair, sharp suit, calm authority. "Mr. Clark," she said, "I've reviewed your documentation. This level of record-keeping is exceptional." She spread my folders across the polished table, scanning financial summaries with practiced efficiency. Nearly $1 million over 25 years. That's substantial, even by our standards. "I want this handled professionally," I said, settling into the chair. No emotion, just business. Emily needs to understand the financial reality of what she's taken for granted. Margaret nodded. The documentation supports either gift reclassification or promissory note establishment. Given the pattern of escalating demands without responsibility, we have multiple recovery options. She outlined the strategy with surgical precision. A formal demand letter requesting full repayment within 30 days. Detailed accounting of all expenditures. A clear timeline for response and negotiation, and professional consequences for non-compliance. "This approach transforms a family dispute into a business transaction," she said. "Much cleaner for everyone involved." By 11 a.m., the documents were prepared. Official letterhead, formal language, serious implications. The demand was simple. $937,000 repayment within 30 days, or legal proceedings would commence. I drove home with copies of everything. Satisfaction mixed with sadness for the necessity of such measures. Emily had created this situation through years of entitlement. I was simply providing the consequences she'd never faced. At exactly 2:15 p.m., my phone rang. The courier confirmed delivery to the Spokane Grand Hotel, room 1247, signed by Emily Clark Anderson. The formal process had begun. I imagined her confusion when the hotel desk called about a legal delivery, her assumption it was vendor paperwork. Michael opening the envelope, arrogance turning to shock as comprehension dawned. At 2:47, the phone started ringing again, Emily's name flashing repeatedly on my screen. I let each call go to voicemail, each message more desperate than the last. Message 1, Dad, what is this? This can't be serious. Message 2, $900,000. That's impossible. You never said these were loans. Message 3, please call back. Michael's family is asking questions I can't answer. Message 4, her voice breaking. I don't understand how everything went so wrong, so fast. At the Grand Hotel, Emily and Michael were discovering what accountability looked like when backed by legal authority. 25 years of gifts had been reclassified as recoverable debt. Their financial dependency was now documented, quantified, and subject to collection. The wedding disaster had been the opening act. This was the main performance. Emily's frantic calls continued through the afternoon. 15 missed calls, 8 voicemails. Each one revealing deeper understanding of her helplessness. The woman who dismissed me from her wedding was beginning to comprehend what she'd actually dismissed. Emily had spent 25 years taking my financial support for granted. Now she faced 30 days to repay it, with consequences for failure. When her 16th call came, I finally answered. Dad, please, she said, voice trembling. We need to talk about this. The legal document, it can't be real. It's completely real, Emily, as are the 30 days you have to respond. But $900,000, that's impossible. You never said any of it was a loan. I never said it was a gift either. You simply assumed. In the background, Michael's voice was sharp, frustration bubbling. Paper rustled. Someone paced. Who exactly do you plan to contact for help? I asked. Silence. Then finally, family, friends, people who care about me. I see. You have 29 days remaining. I suggest you start making those calls. I ended the conversation and turned my phone to silent. Let her understand what helplessness felt like. Let her taste the panic of dependence without guarantees. By Tuesday, Emily's support network had collapsed. Friends who'd once enjoyed her generosity were suddenly unavailable. Michael's family was panicking, their reputation under scrutiny. By Wednesday, Emily texted, Michael's family is pressuring him to consider annulment. They think our marriage was based on financial deception. By Thursday, nobody will help. Everyone has excuses. Michael is barely speaking to me. His parents want him to see a lawyer. I don't understand how everything changed so fast. 25 years of comfort had left her unprepared for a single week of reality. Monday morning, my assistant walked in holding an email. Mr. Clark, Spokane Business Journal is asking questions about family issues affecting your business. Then she showed me a viral Facebook post. Emily's wedding photo, radiant and perfect, followed by emotional lies about her heartless father. Hundreds of comments, sympathy, shock, and tags to local business owners I'd worked with for decades. Emily had gone public. I made my own calls. To Margaret Richards, to the Spokane Business Journal, to every business partner I'd ever built trust with. Tomorrow morning, I told Margaret, we're holding a press conference. I'm publishing every document, every dollar. By 9 a.m. Tuesday, the truth was everywhere. Bank statements, spreadsheets, photographs, receipts, all showing $937,000 in documented parental support. The response was instant. Calls poured in, not of concern this time, but respect. James, I had no idea you supported her like that. No wonder you're demanding accountability. The community shifted overnight. Emily's narrative collapsed under the weight of hard evidence. By noon, her Facebook post was buried under thousands of comments defending me. Contractors, colleagues, even the mayor's office praised the message of financial responsibility. Emily texted again. Dad, please take down those records. People are saying terrible things about us. I deleted the message without replying. 23 days remaining. The next morning, Michael's father called him. By the end of the 12-minute conversation, Michael was packing. My family wants me home, he said. Home? Michael, this is temporary. Emily, stop. He zipped his suitcase shut. You brought me into a financial disaster. My family can't afford this kind of scandal. She pleaded, cried, begged, but his words cut through like a blade. You're a financial burden with no assets and massive debt. Maybe losing everything will teach you something your father's money never could. The door closed behind him. For the first time in 28 years, Emily was completely alone. She scrolled to my number, hesitated, then called. Hello, Emily, I said. Her voice broke. Dad, I lost everything. My husband left. I don't even have money for tonight's hotel bill. Everyone hates me. Do you understand why? She hesitated, then whispered, because I treated you like a bank account. Because I was selfish, entitled, cruel. Silence stretched between us. Then I spoke softly. Do you remember when you were 8? After your mother died? You hugged me every night and told me I was the best daddy in the world. I remember, she said. I wanted to give you everything because I loved you. But giving you everything became the reason you stopped loving me back, she cried openly. I want to earn your respect. I want to become the daughter you deserve. If I help you this time, I said, there will be conditions. Anything. You'll find employment within 2 weeks. No financial requests for 6 months. We'll talk weekly as adults. I understand. I'll transfer $1,000. That covers 1 week. After that, you're on your own. Dad, thank you. I know I don't deserve... You're right. You don't, but everyone deserves one chance to grow up, even at 28. The call ended, but for the first time, Emily felt something new. Not despair, but possibility. 21 days to prove she could change. A lifetime to earn back what she'd thrown away. She opened her laptop and began searching for jobs in Spokane. For the first time in her life, she was ready to work for something. The education had finally begun.